There's a lot of dispute around where the hamburger was invented. But if logic serves us right, it's potentially Hamburg in Germany. Think about it. Hamburger, Hamburg, Frankfurter, Frankfurt, Wiener, Vienna. All of these are named after the cities that they actually came from. But what we're talking about are basically 2 slices of bread and a burger patty in the middle. And there's so much focus around the burger patty that's actually in the middle, but not as much about the bun, which, if you actually buy it from the store, is really bad. And that's what makes a good burger. What are we going to do today at Simply Food? We're going to make the burger bun. Obviously, we will make the patty as well, and I'll put a link in the description about where to find that recipe. But today, it's all about the bread. Join me and let's start cooking. Alright, let's start with the wet ingredients. We got 1 cup of whole milk over here, in which we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of dry yeast. Now the yeast is going to eat into the sugars of the milk and activate and start bubbling. Just give it a good whisk. There you go. I can already start smelling it. And just take this and keep it aside for about 10 minutes and then we're ready to use it. In our dry ingredients, we have about 300 grams of flour, in which I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, about a couple of teaspoons of sugar. That's going to make it nice and sweet. And just whisk all of this together so that we combine it. Right, there you go. Run into a slight problem, and I thought I'll share it with you guys because it could happen to anyone. Now, the yeast that I put in my milk is not bubbling or not become active, as we call it. Now, there could be potentially 2 reasons for that. 1, your yeast is actually dead, i.e. it's old, expired, and you need to use a new dry yeast packet. Or 2, the milk is cold, the environment is cold, or the dish that you're using, in my case, a steel dish, is cold. And the yeast is not reaching the temperature that it needs to, which is room temperature, around anywhere between 25 and 35 degrees Celsius to actually bloom. So in my case, I think it's the latter. The AC is on, the milk was cold, and I used the steel dish, which is actually getting cold very, very quickly. So let me try this once more and come back to you with my results. Right, we're doing this again, and this time I'm just going to use a thermometer to actually show you the temperature of the milk. Right, that goes right in, and let's see what it says. It's about 28 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much room temperature, so I'm good to go. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon rather of yeast in a glass of milk. See, I'm not using a steel container because glass doesn't get as cold. And obviously, I've switched off the AC. Let's give this about 10 minutes and let's see what happens. Bread is one of the oldest things we've been making since we learned how to cook. And it drives us crazy to make it at home. Isn't that silly? Think about it. A burger bun, flatbread, tortillas, pizza bases, baguettes, sliced bread, everything is store-bought. And it's the easiest thing to make at home. Well, there's a lot of sitting around and doing nothing, but that's fine, isn't it? Go watch some telly, get some downtime, do whatever you need to do, get your laundry done. It doesn't matter. Let the yeast, water and flour combine into a small puff of goodness while you wait around and do nothing. Think about that one. All right, it's time to mix the wet and the dry ingredients. So we obviously have our flour that we have mixed with salt and sugar. Then we have our milk. I'm gonna put a little bit, which we have the yeast mixed into. I got 1 egg beaten. That goes right in. And finally, since we don't want to complicate this too much, I got a big dollop of butter. Use as little or as much as you like. Alright, I've got it down on my surface so that I got more space to actually knead it. Again, just fold it and try to use soft hands while doing so. Remember, a little bit of extra water and a sticky dough is not as bad as less water and a hard dough, because what you're trying to go for is a soft bun, not a hard biscuit. In the case of the hard biscuit, we probably need a stronger dough, right? Right, the bread has been resting for 4 hours. It took a little longer than I expected today. I think it's a bit cooler in the kitchen. I think the air conditioning was on, but these things happen with bread all the time. So make sure you take your time to make the big rise. So this is a properly risen dough. If I sort of crush it, you will see, by the way, it's still fairly sticky, that it actually squishes and goes in. Throw some dry flour where you are going to remove the dough and do it like such. If I explain this to you, it just feels literally like, I don't know, squishy marshmallow. That's the consistency that you're going for. Really soft and easy to work with, right? That's your bun consistency. These need to proof for another half an hour or an hour till they sort of grow in size and we're ready to sort of put them in the oven. The proofing allows the dough to relax and sort of take shape, so it's important to do that, and we'll know in about 30 to 40 minutes if they're ready to cook or not. Till then, I'm just going to cover these bad boys with another baking tray. If you don't have another baking tray, then put a wet cloth on top of it or cover it one way so that it doesn't lose its water through evaporation. I'm just going to let it sit here and let's check it out in about half an hour to 45 minutes if it's ready to bake or not, okay? For the big reveal, these have been resting for about an hour or so, and I think they would have doubled in size. They look absolutely gorgeous, don't they? Now all we need to do is get ourselves a bit of egg wash. This is basically one whole egg and some milk, whole milk ideally, and we're just going to make sure that we brush these go into the oven at about 180 degrees Celsius or 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 16 to 18 minutes until they're golden brown on the top. So here we go. It's gonna ring. 3, 2, 1. Beep! Right. Moment of truth. Are you ready? Are you ready? Ta-da! These bad boys are... Alright, let me just put these down. The final test. That, my friends, is what you could buy from a store. And that is what you can make at home. Can't wait to get into this. Please subscribe and like, because I'm literally burning myself for you. Thank you very much for watching Simply Food by Amit Chopra. Can't wait to bite into this. Thank you. Bye.